Good evening, Texas bikers and bikers all across the nation. This is Texas Biker Radio, number 460. My name is Mel Popeye Moss.
Recovering OG.
Yeah. So, I guess colds and allergies are running amok.
Oh, Lord.
Here in Texas because my allergies are acting up today too, as you will soon tell. I want to say good evening to everybody on the chat line. Those of you who are joining us right now. I see Mater's Workshop. Jerry, how are you doing, sir? And Lisa Lee, how are you all doing? And if you would like and share right now, send the word out to everybody that, hey, we're on live and we got some stuff to say. So, and let me see which, this guy up here, up above OG up there, that is Sheriff Chris Forbes of Randall County, Texas. Now, last weekend, there was a red and gold event, and I have a feeling it was the DPS that probably sent everybody into shock because this is what they do. This is what they do. They've done it before. They did it here in Fort Worth with the Mongols. They do this every time. Yeah. So, supposedly, the Randall County Sheriff is leading a task force of federal, state, and local agencies. He's leading it. But I doubt that, OG. I really doubt that. I have
in
a
his
feeling,
dreams.
Yeah,
Okay.
I have a feeling that the DPS are really the ones in charge, and whoever, whatever federal agents might be there, because generally, as we see, these people don't work well together. I'm just saying, everybody. Just saying. So anyway, the DPS, as usual, uses overkill and hype to create a false narrative to try and scare the hell out of the public. But they want you to know they've got it under the control. They're on the job. They're on the job. And you know, OG, it's in my view, and I'm sure it may be yours too, that there are too many agencies and too many people out there to keep an eye on an event where nothing has happened. In other words, there's no probable cause for all the panic.
I'll tell you, if you want to have a better understanding of what the hell it is the sheriff is up to, DPS is up to, and the federal agencies, there's a great book out there. You can do a search on Amazon. It's called Out Bad.
Yeah.
Now, that book does a lot to describe. It's a book basically about a couple outlaws that get killed in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
They get shot mysteriously as they're riding back into town about 2 a.m. in the morning out on the West Coast. And then it goes in and it talks about Operation Black Rain and all the other operations that the ATF gets involved in. But what's really interesting is the author gives a great insight as to all of the lies that law enforcement is willing to create, the false facades, false stories. I mean, he even goes so far as to say, when they're showing videos to grand juries, the grand jury doesn't really know who the hell they're looking at.
Yeah.
If they're looking at the perpetrators, or if they're looking at the confidential informants or the undercover officers,
Yeah.
who are probably the best actors, and those are the ones that the grand jury vote to indict. It talks about how the media plays along and how this whole thing, I mean, there are bad actors out there everywhere.
You know, OG, and that's shades of how the media played along in Waco.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean, every organization, everybody out there has a bad actor floating around doing something bad.
Yeah.
I mean, it just goes without saying. But when you have to build up all these false stories and try and get people to commit crimes and give false information so you can keep your task forces going,
Oh,
and
yeah.
keep
Gotta
the
keep
federal
it going.
funds flowing and justify your budget. That's really what it's all about. You know, there's an old saying in business and in just about everything, and it is follow the money.
You know, OG, the comments made by the sheriff before all this happened, like I said, there was no probable cause for an excessive show of force, profiling, and roadside harassment. There was no cause for all that, because they didn't have any intel other than they threw out the usual narrative that, you know, hey, they're in the gang database. They're a outlaw motorcycle gang. Blah 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 blah. Same old thing. And OG, the last update I saw on the outlaw motorcycle gang report, I think was 2018 or 2019. That's the last one I saw. It has not been updated in a while unless they've done it recently.
And you can bet it was cut and paste from 2017 or 16.
You bet it is. It's all just cut and paste and bullshit. And the write-up they had last time on the 1% clubs was kind of weak, really weak. They ride in a pack. It was weak.
I don't know. There's a place in Louisiana where we've stopped for breakfast a few times, and there's a whole pack of sheriffs riding together to get to breakfast.
That's right.
I mean, what did we count? 7 or 8 squads sitting out there?
That's exactly what we counted. All of them in there, bellied up to the table for over an hour. I don't know who was protecting and defending.
I don't know, but Cracker Barrel was pretty well secured.
That's right. You know, you guys, you would think with all the troubles we have in this nation and Texas, their focus would be on other issues. It's not motorcycle clubs that are hell-bent on defunding the police. It's not motorcycle clubs that are encouraging violence. It's not them that are attacking police, attacking communities, burning down buildings, attacking people based on race, and killing for political gain. It's not motorcycle clubbed. And it pisses me off that they single bikers out no matter what club they're in. No matter what club. And this is the same crap we see going on nationwide at the very highest levels. At the very highest levels. It's freaking incredible. I mean, Texas is being overrun at the border. Abbott says he's utilizing the DPS and yet they're wasting time and manpower on crap like this. And we still have people in our courts that are fighting the transgressions of the DPS and police law officers that get their jollies off putting somebody into a gang database that don't deserve to be there. Matter of fact is they're not supposed to do it. There is no due process. None. And OG, here in a few weeks, I'm gonna start. I'm gonna start on the DPS. I'm gonna start with them by another scathing letter to the Inspector General of the DPS. Here we go, everybody. Hang on. Hang on. I'm going to go with scorched earth.
Now I'm seeing a lot of chatter on the chat line about hoping the bill's been signed, and I think they're in reference to the crime database bill.
The crime database bill. Let me.
And or the profiling.
The
bill
profile.
also.
Both of them. Our legislature has ended, and I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for Texas Defenders and Clutch to release their report on where we're at. And I really, I can tell you right now, the legislature has ended. The governor has not called a special session yet. He will, but it will be over certain issues.
And I assume that they'll only discuss those issues that he calls the special session for?
Exactly. I think, number one right now would be the voting bill.
Right.
I call it the sanctity of the vote bill. That's what I call it. Why that wasn't done first, I have no clue. But anyway, that's the sheriff up there.
Sorry.
Okay. He's stealing my mouse. You can just type, right? Oh, no, you got to do that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll leave the sheriff up there for the time being. We can talk about him. And as advertised in our promo, man, are you ready, OG? We learned on Memorial Day, we probably spent about, 3 hours, long hours, listening to stuff that was being said by somebody that's supposedly on our side. What I'm trying to figure out is if the things they were saying helps us or hurts us. Because, OG, there was some outrageous stuff, and I'm fixing to start on it.
Well, I have yet to see any place in the news where George Soros was taken out by a sniper in the Swiss Alps.
That's just one. And we're getting ready to start with a list here, everybody. I want you to listen up now, and I want you guys to comment on this as we bring each item up. And it's not in any certain order, because they kind of get goofy and skip around. And let me see if I have, I thought I uploaded them into here. Let me see. No, I don't see it. Okay, we'll go without it. I certainly thought I uploaded that, but maybe I didn't. No. Anyway, I don't know if you've seen it or not, there's these guys. Wait a minute, you guys. Let me do something real quick. Hang on. Hang with me. Because I want you to see this. This will take me a minute. Let me know if you see it, OG. Oh, that's them, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
There.
All right,
I'm gonna catch up.
hang with me, guys. Hang with me. I'm about to get it done. Okay, I'm going to add this in here. And normally don't do this. I just let it be what it is. And here we go. I'm going to switch it around here. And I'm not going to, here we go, you guys, here we go. These guys, I don't know if you know them or not. They're with a deal called the Frog News Network. And we learned a lot of things from them yesterday. A lot of things. And I'm going to start, like I said, do these help or hurt? We did this yesterday, Memorial Day 2021. You will be shocked to know that George Floyd is alive. He's alive. And he will appear soon.
And the poor sap you saw dying in the street was his brother.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, guys. You know, we always like to verify that what we bring up here is true. The truth is we can find it. But let's move on, everybody. We've got a quantum government coming soon. I don't know if any of you know what a quantum government is. OG, can you explain it?
Yeah, I'm scratching my head.
Yeah. And we got a new monetary banking system coming soon, and it's happening now.
Now, supposedly today, Russia backed off of the petrol reserves or whatever.
Yeah, the petrodollar.
Yeah, the petrodollar as backing its monetary system and has moved to the gold reserve.
That's right. They've moved to the gold standard, so you
now,
know.
Yeah, I would have thought something would have reflected on the stock market. It would have had a huge issue with our financial system.
Right.
I'd have thought I'd have seen something on the stock market today, something in the news. Nothing but silence.
You know, OG, I went looking for this stuff about the petrodollar, and that goes back as far as 2016 when they were threatening that.
Yeah.
But I couldn't find anything current to 2021. Nothing. So we've got a new monetary banking system coming soon. And your bank is going to contact you about that.
Well, supposedly today in Australia, they were doing a currency exchange. Now, again, heard nothing in the news. Everything is supposed to go digital. That's the raging deal that's going on now. Everything's supposed to be going to the digital dollar. and you've got to turn in your existing currency. Now, that was supposed to be happening in Australia today.
Yeah.
Again, nothing.
And what we understand, the Great Reset is stalled. Is stalled. And the banks have been put on notice. That's what they're saying, not us. But you will be glad to know that we found out. The IRS is gone, baby. It does not exist. Now, I did call the IRS today, and guess what? Their phones are still working. Just checking, guys. Just checking.
Yeah, I would. I'd be paying my federal income tax if I were you.
Yeah. Oh, well, how they handle the deal about nothing in the news is
That is, if you're not smart enough to have the deductions, so you don't have to pay any tax.
Yeah. How they handle that, they say the reason nothing's in the news is they've all been warned. And we're going to get to more of that here in a minute. And so we did find out that as far as the social scene goes, yeah, that nobody will be poor anymore when the new system comes in. And seniors are going to get 10 times more on their Social Security checks.
Nobody will have to work. However, you're going to want to work so you're not bored.
That's right. And also, along those lines, inflation will be cured. There will be no inflation. All debt, you're going to be glad for this, guys. All debt is going to be forgiven, including home loans.
Yeah, I don't know if you know this or not, but your mortgage loan is unconstitutional.
Yeah, that's the reason for all this. It's
Right.
all unconstitutional. So therefore, it's got to go. It's got to go. But now there's no timeline on this.
Now,
There's
I
no
wouldn't-
timeline
yeah,
on
I
it.
wouldn't stop making my house payment. You might have the sheriff knocking on your door in
Yeah,
a few
if you
months
quit paying
with
for
an
your
eviction
house.
notice.
Yeah, but I guess I just get screwed because my house is paid for. So so all of it was. This is due to the Constitution. They had no right to do any of this stuff. Now, parts of that I can agree with. They had no right to do it, but hey, it's done. It's going to be interesting. So there's going to be no homeless people. Everybody deserves a roof over their head. And so, oh yeah, U.S. corporation is bankrupt. No money. No money. How in the hell are they paying everybody? How does that work? I'm trying to figure all this out. And we did find out that Trump is in New Jersey under military protection, including a no-fly zone. Yeah. But of course, he does have Secret Service with him all the time. He is under protection. There are 50,000 clones in the U.S. There are clone companies in Canada. You can find them in the phone book, and I went looking today. Go look. Hey, do your due diligence. Go look for yourself.
And speaking of Canada, the Prime Minister has been replaced.
That's right. By a woman.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, oh man, this one is a shocker. This one's a shocker. Chelsea Clinton is under arrest and on the way for execution. You know, The people on the left, if this was going on, they would be screaming. I don't care how much they've been threatened. I don't care. And so we have U.S. Special Operations and aliens working together to set things right. I have not met an alien. Maybe I've met a clone and don't know it. You tell us, guys. We're just asking questions of what we heard. Of what we heard. And not only that, OG, they have bases under the oceans. Under the oceans. With magnetic trains that travel around under these oceans at 12,000 miles an hour. Hell, gee, we can't get that on the surface.
That's scorching, man.
Yeah. And I guess all this is coming up because of all the UFOs or whatever else. I don't know. But I thought that was interesting, you know, man. 12,000 miles an hour, pretty damn fast underwater. Or tunnels, or whatever it is. You know, I would kind of like to see it myself. I'd like to see it. Hell, I'm interested in SpaceX. Shit, I want to see something like that. The CIA supercomputers is under the Three Gorges Dam in China, where they control Bitcoin. That's where they mine the Bitcoin. I didn't know Bitcoin was a mineral.
It's not.
How do you mine something that's not a mineral?
I think they refer to that kind of like mining data.
Yeah. Hey, and if you know anything about the, let me show you here, guys. If you know anything about the Three Gorges Dam, this is it here. And what they got going on there, they've had, for the past 2 years, they've had excessive rain. And this dam is looks like it's about to give way. It's getting cracks in it, but I don't know about the CIA that's working underneath it, and it's also where China, they say, these guys say that's where China stores all their nuclear stuff underneath this dam. But if that thing gives away, it's going to wipe out about 11 million people or so. That's what's going to happen there at the Three Gorges Dam. And so, yeah, pretty incredible, huh? Pretty incredible. And they said that terrestrials are God-fearing. I don't know. I've never met any in church. Just saying. Biden is a is a CGI created clone. What you're seeing is not really Biden. Could be.
I don't know. I saw something tonight that was absolutely despicable. Biden was unhinged and unfiltered And the only thing he didn't do was reach out with his nasty hands and touch the little girl.
Oh my gosh.
He was referring to a little girl. There was a group of people on the stage. There was a little girl there. I think she was about 10. Had barrettes in her hair, the whole bit. And he was commenting how beautiful the group was and how he really liked those barrettes and how mature it made that girl look, just as if, and with those legs, she looked like a 19-year-old.
Oh my gosh.
Is that creepy or what?
We're going to have to find that.
I'm telling you, if I was standing there and I was that little girl's dad, I'd have killed him.
Mm-hmm.
That was just pure creep.
Uh,
They showed that on Newsmax tonight.
okay, so the clone, the CGI clone OG, has sent lawyers to investigate the Frog News Network. But remember, there's no money for lawyers. We're broke. That's what they said. But so also the Frog News Network claimed that hundreds, if not thousands, have already been facing military tribunals. But all their family members have been sworn to secrecy. None of them are going to speak about it. They won't speak about it. Nice cover. There's a report on UFOs to be released next month to get us ready. They've been here since the start of time. Sergei Lavrov press release. It's what you were talking about, OG. Russia no longer on the petrodollar. And like I said, I went and looked it up. Nothing's current for 2021. They had been making threats. They moved to gold. And now Russia is going to the UN over January 6th and a lack of due process for 400 Americans. Now I went looking for that today, that comment from this guy. And again, I went to the site he said go to, and I couldn't find it. Crickets. Now I admit that site is a mess. It's a mess. So it may have been buried in there, but I looked around quite a while. And there was a coup attempt on Lecheko, and that's when the plane was stalled on the tarmac, and he was taken into custody or whatever. There was an attempt, a coup attempt. Couldn't find anything on that neither. And then, hey, listen, guys, singers, actors facing tribunals. One of the names you might know is Lady Gaga, Robert De Niro. Yeah. So they're getting ready to have their tribunals. I don't know. They may be already under arrest. You can never tell because nobody's talking. But, you know, these not the only ones talking about tribunals. Now, the Kraken lawyer, she says there's no tribunals going on. But they said she's been sworn to secrecy. Nice cover. And of course they're saying, you know, transport planes are flying everywhere. You know what, OG? They do that every night.
Yep. Yep.
So they're flying all these people to these tribunals, and what they're finding out is Gitmo is so crowded with these tribunals that they've got to find them any place they can, in a hangar, under a tree, anywhere.
Now they putting them in a cage? They shooting them? What the hell are they doing with them?
I don't know. Chelsea's headed for execution. I wonder if she's allowed due process. Just saying, everybody. They said there's more money in sex trafficking than drugs and hedge funds and anything else. Children. Every one of them mentioned children. And, I have no doubt that these rich people and these politicians are pedophiles. You take a look at Joe Biden himself. I have no doubt that that's going on, but I don't know that it's more lucrative. But then they're also, everybody, let me tell you, they're saying that, hey, these children are transported around on submarines. They come out of tunnels. Then they're transported, and hell, they may. I think I did hear them say they even come out from under that damn dam. They got a lot going on at that dam, including the fact that it's fixing to give way. Now, the one thing I do wholeheartedly agree with these guys is our media is a bunch of liars. They got that 100% right. 100%. And so are our politicians. If their mouths are moving, they're lying to us. And there's subs on the East Coast and the West Coast. And they're from Russia. And guess what they're doing? They're protecting our shores as a favor. I don't know, you have to go listen to it to understand this stuff.
Because there's a large force of Chinese troops to the north.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, a large force of Chinese troops in Canada. And Canada does have a large contingent of Chinese people up there. A whole bunch. Canada is owned by China. Just like our government and the NBA and the baseball teams, it runs on and on and on. And guess what? Kim Jong-un, whatever his name is dead. But wait, everybody. We found out yesterday we are in control of North Korea. That's big news, everybody. That's big news. And China has threatened us if we investigate Wuhan, they are going to attack us. So things are getting dangerous, everybody. And OG, I was waiting to hear it, and I did hear them say today that a civil war is coming, and the vets are ready.
I can believe it.
Now let me say one thing, you guys.
We keep saying, be ready.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, this is incredible. You guys, let me ask you. Because these guys have thousands of followers in a short period of time. In a short period of time. They got people actually donating to them. Donating to them. And I find that we are all about the truth. Now, the question we're asking you, are these guys helping patriots, or are they hurting? Are they hurting? That's what we're asking. I mean, if they can get people to donate to them, just, and where their intel comes from, you want to tell them, OG? Did you get it? Where their intel's coming from?
I just saw one or two of the characters.
Okay. their intel's coming from, they're asking their audience for intel. I'm sorry, everybody, that's not a proper investigation. That's not a proper news agency. And you can say these things without any proof. And you can say people have been sworn to secrecy. And you can say, hey, we don't know when this is going to happen. Because since November 3rd, we've seen the dates pushed back on everything that people say is going on. Now, do I hope the military takes action? Yes, I do. But right now, what we see is there's going to be no military action, no coup, although we wish for it.
Even though we all know the election results were illegitimate. Yeah. It was illegitimate.
Yeah.
Crooked, you name it. We are still going to have a rougher than hell 4 years.
That's right. And hey, look, the crooked people are in charge. Let me say this much. I do believe that Biden and the deep state will do themselves in with lie after lie after lie. The economy will tank. Inflation is on the way. The new Green Deal will be a disaster. Fauci's being investigated. COVID origins investigated. There's rules for them and rules for us, and it's never more obvious than it is right now. Promises broke. They've already broke one. They haven't forgiven the student loans. Out of control spending, and that's already going on. You've got a recipe for disaster, and they are contributing to it day by day by day, and everybody's seeing it. Everybody knows what a great economy looks like. They just saw it over the last 4 years, minus the last 100 days.
Yep.
We have a chance to take the House and the Senate back in 2022. Number one is we've got to keep exposing the corruption. We've got to keep exposing it. It's up to us to make sure the elections now and in the future are free from internal and external threats. These audits that are going on will show corruption and voter fraud. And let me tell you this, the Supreme Court that feared the people on the left and the threats that were made at them. We need to make them fear we, the people. We need to send a clear message. And that happens from now till 2022. And these elections better be straightened out now and before the 2022 elections come. This is a must. We can't let them do this again. We can't let it happen, no matter how much Democrats and the people on the left and the crooks scream. Turn off your damn mainstream media. Turn it off. Quit watching this shit. Quit watching it. Turn off ESPN and all that crap. You're addicted. You're addicted to the adrenaline from sports. You're being brainwashed. You're being brainwashed little by little by little by big tech and the mainstream media. Whether you want to believe that or not, that's what's happening to you. That's what's happening to your children. And damn sure make sure you start going to these school board meetings.
Yeah, never forget. If you hear it enough, you may start to believe it.
That's right. That's right. They know that.
Especially if you hear it from more than one venue.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what they're doing.
That's right.
They're a propaganda machine.
That's exactly what it is. And OG, I got one other thing here. The Houston Methodist Hospital, they're being sued by 117 employees. They're being sued for being forced to take the vaccine.
I heard about that.
Yeah. And so what's happening now, they're using the Nuremberg Code that says you can't be forced. That you can't be forced into taking a vaccine. Now, you know, that's using, that was done back in, I think, in 1947.
Yep.
And, you know, it was the results of what happened with the Nazis.
Yeah, it's
back
based
in World
on
War II.
experimental medicine.
Experimental medicine. The Tuskegee, I guess it's the Tuskegee pilots. They were experimented on, and you know, just that would end up being what this is, because these drugs have not been approved yet.
And the Nazis did a lot of experimental surgeries, medicines, the whole bit.
Oh yeah, they did all kinds of things to people, and you know, Fauci, I do believe, is in trouble. He's in trouble. But OG, I want to bring up one more thing, and it's getting dark here in this thing right here. I'll take it back some.
That's your favorite YouTube channel.
And this right here is Bochica, Texas, where the Star Base is at. And OG, these people, these rich guys, are in a race. they're in a race to they're in a race to get to Mars. Now, I don't know what the hell's up there, but I do know, OG, it's 80 below. The average temperature is 80 below. Now, who in their right mind wants to take a vacation there? Because they got rich guys that are bidding on these seats. So this may be a way to get rid of them. But What if you get up there on one of these spaceships and you all of a sudden figure out you're claustrophobic?
Yep.
There's no turning around, everybody. Then you get up there and you're not happy with your accommodations. Can't really go outside. Not at 80 below. There is water on the planet, but you've got to extract it out of the ice and the ground, from what I understand.
They probably don't have any cognac or caviar up there.
That's
either.
right. Yeah, you can't grow shit. But they did create some oxygen a while back, about enough that you could breathe 10 minutes. I don't know what it is. Maybe there's a mineral up there or something. I mean, they did say there's little rocks and stuff they collected.
Randy Russell was saying there's all kinds of gold in Mars.
Yeah. Now, what I thought I read today that there were traces. I don't know that that's a strike-it-rich vein when you're checking little tiny rocks. Could be, though. Could be.
I wonder if the History Channel would be willing to do a gold rush series on Mars.
That's right. We could
send Schnabel up there.
Like the days, we could do like the California Gold Rush.
Right.
Yeah, except for to Mars. But anyway, Elon Musk does seem like he has the edge on everybody. He's about to get a big defense contract. And so for a guy that was on the cusp of being broke, Tesla was in trouble, SpaceX was in trouble, and then all of a sudden he landed a contract. And now they're launching a missile about every week, a rocket about every week, with his new satellite system. And ride shares, in other words, other companies that pay for them to put up their satellites.
Yeah, putting up more space junk.
They putting up thousands of satellites for this worldwide internet of his.
I'm surprised they haven't had more accidents with that space junk.
Hey,
I saw it today where the robot arm on the International Space Station up there was injured or damaged by space junk.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, that's going to be a sad thing when it comes through the skin of that damn thing, instead of hitting an arm. But let me show you one other thing here. I'm going to show you this right here. See that tower right there? That gray tower to the right?
Yeah.
That's going to be right there. You see 1, 2, 3 sections. There's going to be 4 more. And that big crane that you see lowered right there, they're fixing to make it longer. So it's kind of an interesting thing to follow if you're interested in engineering and that kind of stuff. But it's I don't see any tourists other than maybe go up real high and go into space and come back down, that are going to take a real long trip on one of these damn things up there to stay in a tin can on the surface of Mars.
I don't know. I don't know if I could be confined like that.
You've got to take enough fuel to get there, and then you've got to have enough fuel to get back. And that's one reason they're using the fuel they're using on that Starship. And they've only had one land correctly. So I think they better prove the landing, make it a little bit better. Prove that they can do it again and again reliably. Otherwise, we're going to fry a whole bunch of people.
Yep.
Yeah, and so I would be leery of any giveaway ticket. you may be you may be a what do they call it? Like the people that experiment on a guinea pig. Just saying, everybody. Hell, send up a monkey, a dog, or somebody else. Hey, with that, everybody, I hope you enjoyed everything. Hey, continue to send us in the comment sections your thought about this Frog News Network. We found that kind of interesting yesterday as we were listening to what these guys were saying.
Yeah, we can get more stuff for you.
And hey, let us know if you would donate to them. That's really what we're interested in. Would you donate for that kind of news without much to back it up? Now, I'm like you. I'm like everybody else. I want so bad for this stuff to be happening. But I don't want it so bad that I'm just going to fall for anything, because let me tell you guys, that's how we got into January 6th. Because we were trusting of people that we did not know. That's the reason we fell into that trap.
Speaking of January 6th, I watched an interview tonight of Ashley Babbitt's husband. Now, for those of you who need a reminder, Ashley Babbitt is the female Air Force veteran that was murdered.
Yes.
On January 6th at the complex. Now, I guess they're going through a lot of boxes to check off before he files a lawsuit. Because of, it's the federal government involved, yada, yada, yada. What's interesting is as of this date, the Capitol Police have yet to release the name of the Capitol Police officer that murdered her.
If it was a police officer.
Well,
it may have been some other security.
What I was hearing tonight was Capitol Police.
Okay,
and what's interesting is if you see the video clips on that, you see the arms extended of somebody wearing a suit jacket, very dark-skinned. Now, they shot her. She was unarmed as she was coming through a window. The only reason she had entered to begin with, her husband talked about this, said she had been a police officer or had been in law enforcement for a great number of years. And so she recognized different scenarios. And when the police backed off, that was, to her, a signal that it was okay to enter.
Right.
So this is not a dead issue. It will go on. And I expect a lawsuit to be filed before too awfully long.
And the people like Pelosi and those in Congress and on the Republican side, on the Democratic side, are going to try and keep this going as long as they can. As long as they think they're getting traction off of it, they'll keep it going. But the minute it turns around on them, they'll drop it like a hot rock. And the media will try and give them cover. And what we've got to do, we've got to keep digging, and we've got to expose them. Everything they do. The crooked bastards don't deserve our support. They don't deserve it. Period.
Need to keep bringing it up. Need to keep protesting it. And
that's right.
On our next show, we will resume talking to our troops out there.
Okay. And next week, we will be at our national meetup for Sons of Liberty Riders MC. This year it will be in New Mexico. And so depending on the internet and how good of quality of show we can produce from there.
And how much moonshine Tennessee brings.
And yeah, and how that's true. Root beer moonshine. Oh my gosh. I don't know whether we should be announcing that or not, but we are. So, and I've been cleared to ride, so I'll be able to do some riding up there. And so, you know, hey, everything's going to be right with the world because we're going to keep it up no matter what, whether it be locally, whether it be statewide, whether it be federal. If you know anyone that's having their constitutional rights violated, let us know. Let us know. And if we have a chapter in or near that state, or even here in Texas, you know, we'll take a look at it, see what we can do to help. With it, everybody,
Be safe.
if you don't have a motorcycle, buy one. Come ride with us. If you're in the DFW area, give me a buzz. We'll have a beer and a burger. Good night, everybody. Good night.
Good night.